Okay, so when you're pregnant, it feels like everyone has a theory or a trick for predicting your baby's sex, right? From the way you're carrying to what you're craving, these old wives' tales are just everywhere. But one of the most popular ones actually involves the placenta. So, is there any truth to it? Let's get into it and separate the facts from the fiction.
So, this is the big question. You've probably seen this pop up in parenting groups online, or maybe a well-meaning aunt mentioned it. The idea that where your placenta decides to attach in your uterus can actually tell you if you're having a boy or a girl. I mean, it's a fascinating thought, especially when you're just dying for any little clue. But does it actually hold any water scientifically?
All right, before we can even begin to tackle the myth, we have to get to know the star of the show, the placenta itself. Because once you understand what this amazing organ actually does, it makes it a whole lot clearer why its location might not be the little crystal ball some people think it is.
You know, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. After fertilization, that one single cell doesn't just turn into the baby. Nope, it splits into two teams. One team of cells becomes the embryo. That's your future baby, of course. And the other team? It gets to work becoming the placenta, a whole temporary organ built for one single vital job, supporting the pregnancy.
And let me tell you, its job is huge. The absolute best way to think about the placenta is as the baby's personal life support system. It's connected to the baby through the umbilical cord, and it's basically the bridge between you two. It sends over all the good stuff. We're talking oxygen, nutrients, the whole shebang. And then it takes away all the waste. It's on the clock 24/7 for 9 whole months, making sure your baby is healthy and growing.
So, how does this all link back to that myth? Well, the entire theory hinges on the placenta's position. See, when the fertilized embryo travels to the uterus, it can implant pretty much anywhere on the uterine wall. The front, the back, up top, on the side. And wherever that little embryo decides to, set up shop, that's exactly where the placenta will develop.
And this breaks down the two most common spots perfectly. An anterior placenta means it's on the front wall, right up against your belly. A posterior one is on the back wall, closer to your spine. Now, this position does have a real effect, but it has absolutely nothing to do with whether it's a boy or a girl. An anterior placenta is like an extra cushion, so you might feel those first flutters and kicks a little later. With a posterior one, there's less padding, so you might feel every little wiggle a bit earlier and stronger.
Okay, but here is the absolute most important thing to remember. Whether your placenta is on the front, the back, or the side, it makes zero difference to your baby's health. As long as it's not blocking the cervix, which is a totally separate condition called placenta previa that your doctor would be all over, the position is just, well, a position. Your baby is getting all the nutrients it needs either way.
All right, now that we've got the science down, let's get back to the main event. We know what the placenta is, we know what it does, and we know where it can hang out. So now it's time to put that old wives' tale head-to-head with the actual science.
So, this is the claim you hear everywhere. It's simple, it's so confident, and you can totally see why it's so catchy. I mean, when you're pregnant, you're living with this incredible mystery for months, and a simple rule like this feels like you've found a special little secret key. But is there anything to it?
And here's the clear, simple, scientific answer: nope. There is no known biological reason, no medical evidence, zero scientific proof that connects where the embryo implants to the sex of the baby. A baby's sex is determined by X and Y chromosomes at the literal moment of fertilization, long before that tiny group of cells even reaches the uterus to implant.
Now, to be totally fair, you might have heard about a survey from back in 2011 that seemed to suggest there was a link. It did find a correlation between the placenta's position and the baby's sex in the group of people it looked at. But, and this is a huge but, correlation is not the same thing as causation. It just means two things happened at the same time, not that one caused the other. It was just one survey, it's never been replicated, and the medical world does not consider it a reliable method at all, because there's just no biological reason why it would be true.
So after all that, where does this leave us? What should you actually take away from all this? Let's zoom out from the myth and focus on what really truly matters when you're on this journey.
So let's break it down. First, your placenta is an incredible, vital organ doing an amazing job for your baby. Second, its position, whether anterior or posterior, is totally normal and doesn't affect your baby's growth one bit. And finally, while it is super fun to guess, your placenta's location just isn't a crystal ball. The best thing you can do is focus on being healthy and happy and just let the sonographer give you the real news when the time is right.
The bottom line? The placenta position theory is a fun little piece of folklore, but that's all it is, a myth. And trust me, it's one of many that you'll hear during this exciting time.
So that leaves me with a question for you. What other pregnancy myths have you heard? Let us know what we should explain next.